Now we'll be moving on to Emma Q, who is a Year 12 student at St. Cuthbert's.
Hi, can everyone hear me? Aotearoa is often described as a God zone. Our evergreen fields and natural streams embody the country's image of purity and natural perfection. Yet we fail to address the looming issue of climate change that threatens to disturb all this peace. As Robert Swan states, the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. How can we pride ourselves for this accomplishment of perfection when we, the nation's people, turn our heads in ignorance on such an issue? To the older generation, Aotearoa was crafted for them as a paradise. They were lucky enough to coexist with native and freshwater species. They were lucky enough to have streams that were safe to drink from. And they were lucky enough to be living in an egalitarian society. To the younger generation, Aotearoa is left for us in the realm of the unknown. We face the extinction of 80% of our seabirds and 22% of our marine animals. We face the dangers of drinking water that is 11 times past the safety nitrate limit. And we face the consequences for our nation's lack of acknowledgement of the Maori principle kaitiakitanga, guardianship and respect for all resources and land. They were lucky enough, not us. As the younger generation, we do not know what our future holds, or worse yet, if it will even exist. We weren't given the chance to preserve and respect our land, and now we face the repercussions for those who did know. But I am not saying this to pass the blame. I am saying this so that we, the youth, along with the rest of the nation, are motivated to take action and restore our futures the way we envision. To break the cycle of debt we're trapped in and instead pay it forward to ensure that both ours and the next generation's ability to witness the beauty of our nation. Having said this, in order to make real advancements in combating climate change, both practical and motivational actions are required. Tonight, I could go home and turn off unneeded lights, go vegetarian, and cut down on shower times. But realistically, would doing this by myself bring about real change on a large scale? I don't think so. But if I went home tonight instead and informed my parents about the importance of climate change, as well as showing them how simple things such as cutting down shower times could prevent it, wouldn't that be of greater significance? When one person takes on an action of change, it is not the action that inspires others to also join, but rather the reasoning behind this action. And so, like the butterfly effect, when one person is informed, people around them will also be, and so on, further amplifying this cause. And what would this look like? Well, instead of one person taking public transport, 1,000 people will. Instead of one person having meat-free days once a week, 10,000 people will. And instead of one person using a brown paper bag, the whole nation will. This awareness not only creates changes for individuals, but goes beyond to impact multi-million corporations and even the government. If all of us unite together under one cause, the substantial power we hold to pressure the government into implementing changes and policies is huge. Currently, New Zealand's major carbon emissions contributors are the transport sector and the dairy industry. However, under the urging of the nation, the government can mitigate these by implementing policies such as pollution tax, public transport improvement, and incentives for electric vehicles, all of which are feasible actions. As Christina Figueres, former United Nations climate change chief stated, imagine a group of adults sitting on a beach building sandcastles. The people have their backs to the sea, so they can't see the series of waves heading towards them. There's the COVID wave, and behind that is the economic crisis and the shutdown crisis. And behind that, 10 times higher than all those waves, is the climate change crisis. But underlying all the waves is the inequality crisis. It is evident that Aotearoa needs systemic change. We can no longer lightly address this pressing issue. But fortunately for us, there is still hope to mitigate the impacts of climate change. We can still live up to the principles of kaitiakitanga and fulfill our obligations, both within our country and on a global scale. But to do so, everyone needs to contribute. It is our voice and activism that will create awareness and change. Because the moment we decide to implement these changes is the moment we will combat climate change and take control of our own futures. Thank you.
Kia ora, Emma. Thank you for that impassioned speech.